Ah. Hello, friends, and welcome to the May 18th Bindlestiff Open Stage Variety Show, an experiment in quarantainment. It's our 7th pandemic performance program. We are here now, and thank you for joining us. Tonight, we'll take you on a journey into the isolated world of circus artists. We'll be delivering a burst of fresh air to your shelter at home. For tonight, we have stripped away the multi-million-dollar showbiz budgets, and we're going to deliver you raw, live circus and variety pushed through the internet. We're excited to see legitimate theater following our cues. Just this past week, Bill Irwin brought his new play In Zoom to the fiber waves. And the public's newer offer of the Apple family in What Do We Need to Talk About is running through June. It's happening all over the internet. Live entertainment, plays, theater, it's taken over. Now for you multi-generational households questioning what sort of content will be in tonight's show, if you're letting your kids watch television or pay attention to the news, tonight's show will be fine. It's PG-13 with most of the time it's G. Now, the Bindlestiff Family Circus has been bringing circus to the world for a quarter of a century. We started at a little bitty bar in Brooklyn, and since then, we've now traveling the world. We have youth programs that support artists, and many different facets of what makes Bindlestiff. Now, Bindlestiff's open stage variety show goes back over a decade. It's been a home for emerging and professional artists since the beginning. And we're still, now that we're in the internet world, even the pros are having to emerge in a new level. Tonight, we're going to attempt to break the fourth wall in the harshest of conditions, online. Now, tonight, for those of you in need of laughs and live entertainment, this is our gift to you. We perform because it is simply what we do. We also perform to survive. Let's go ahead and put the screen up and let people know how they can support. For those of you who can help feed a circus artist, please do. Before the pandemic times, you would spend, I ask you, what would you spend on a night of entertainment? Travel, tickets, Ticketmaster fees, drinks, dinner, travel. And the amount of money you saved, you could be putting into pockets of artists tonight. All you have to do is send a text or any of these other fine ways of sending donations. Go ahead, take the time, donate now, or wait a little bit, enjoy some entertainment, and we'll be giving you more opportunities to donate. Now, the first act of a variety show is by far the most difficult. Because you see, when it comes to that first act, their job is to help you enter the magic of theater. Now, I could be handing this spot over to one of the dozen artists that are backstage, but in a moment, I'm going to take that. Because all of you have come into the theater carrying whatever baggage you have. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you can't get unemployment. And it's that baggage that you brought into the theater, and it's the first act's job to help burst you through that and help you enjoy the evening. So I'm going to take that spot. And I'm going to present to you the same skill that I've been presenting in this same spot since the pandemic program began. This, my friends, is one of my favorite props. It's a top. We'll start with the basics, and we'll get a little fancier after that. Now, this portion of the top throwing act is simply called the wind. The wind in top throwing lingo is simply a moment for the performer to look at you, the audience. Give you a little better view in a sec. Let's bring the screen down. Now with that top spinning, let's take a moment and think about attention spans and how they've devolved over the past few decades. 40 years ago, people would watch a top spinning like this for 20 minutes at a time, thinking it was the coolest thing in the world. Wow. 17 more minutes to go. But now in 2020, people expect a little bit more excitement out of their top throwing. So in a moment, I'm going to give you just that. But first, once again, the wind. I love top so much. Usually, folks, it's an hour and 23-minute top demonstration, but you have to spend quite a bit on your admission to get that. Now I'm going to quickly just see if I can lift up the whole audience for a moment. There we go. Nice. Give you a little bit better position. And time to bring out our first performer. He is a regular on the real-life Dixon Place open stage, but tonight, he is making his debut on the Quarantine Edition. He's an award-winning magician. He has performed all over the world and is an interpreter of the classics of magic. Please welcome to the screen, Torkova. Thank you, Torkova. Now, I have a feeling there's one very happy family out there. Just yesterday, I got an email from a family of their young daughter doing a magic act. So, Amara, if you're watching, I hope that first act got you a little excited. And I also encourage you that once we get back on the live stage to check back in with us about our Cavalcade of Youth program, and that way you can do a magic in front of the world. Now, our next artist is a juggler from California. She has traveled the world performing and teaching in 30 countries. She does amazing work organizing programs worldwide with the International Jugglers Association. She has also been a Bindlestiff ally, helping us find international talent for our online stage. Joining us from Mexico, welcome Erin Stevens. Aaron Stevens. I love juggling. Speaking of juggling, I'm also a big fan of what's known as the combo trick. We've already had some combo masters on this show, David Kane, Dan Wasdale, and in a few weeks, we'll have one of my favorites, a combo trick legend, Larry V. Now with combo tricks, they generally take up a lot of room because what they're doing is they're pulling different facets of balancing and juggling together, and the performer is presenting all of those at one time. Now in my little pandemic studio, I don't have a lot of height, and you can't see my feet, which means that I can't quite pull off the full combo trick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you one element of a 3-part combo trick. And this element includes 6 rings. Now, once I get these spinning on my arms, I want you to think about the one spinning on my foot, sometimes 2, and maybe even a beautiful balance off my head of 3 pool cues, a triangle, and maybe a globe on top. But for now, just some simple hoop spinning. And that's enough of that combo trick, friends, because it's time for another artist. Ladies and gentlemen, and all you others, our next act is a very unusual and timely. Patrick Garner has been attending our open stage performances at Dixon for years now, but primarily as an audience member. Only once has he performed on our stage. It was a brave attempt at a card trick with what can only be described as mixed results. Not to be deterred, Patrick joins us tonight to present an entirely new act. Please join me in welcoming Patrick Garner, the coronavirus ventriloquist.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? So I'm Patrick Garner, and I, like you, found myself with a lot of free hours the last couple of weeks. So I was thinking of what I could do with them, and I remembered something that I hadn't done in a very, very long time. Really used to love it. Ventriloquism. Yeah. And my favorite ventriloquist was a guy named Senior Wences. He was always on the Ed Sullivan Show. I'd sit in my dad's lap and we just laugh and laugh. It's all right, it's all right. But see, what was really great about him was all the other ventriloquists, they needed like a dummy or a puppet to do their act, but not Senior Wences. No, all he needed was a white glove, and he'd draw a face on it, and then he'd make that sucker just come alive. Yeah. So I've been practicing for like 3 weeks now, and I think I'm getting pretty good. So this is my tribute to Senior Wences. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Patrick Garner, your coronavirus ventriloquist, and my little buddy, Oliver. Hi, Oliver, how you doing? I said, hey, Oliver. I'm sorry. Wait, I forgot. Okay. Hi, Oliver. Hi, Mr. Garner. How you doing tonight? I'm doing just fine. Well, millions of people all over the world can see us because we're on the internet right now. Wow. Yeah, and I promised Mr. Nelson we'd give him some really world-class entertainment to wow him, okay? Yeah. Can I start? Sure, you can start. What do you want to start with? I got a joke. Oh, well, tell us your joke. Okay, here goes. Why didn't the skeleton go trick-or-treating? I don't know. Why didn't the skeleton go trick-or-treating? Because he had nobody to go with. I don't get it. Nobody. It's a word joke. You have to explain. It's not really very funny. Well, I'm sorry. I just didn't get it. But you know what I think the people would really, what are you doing? I'm just seeing if your lips move. I think what the people would really like is if you sang a song. A song? He's got a great voice. I can sing a song. Sing a happy song so it'll lift everybody's spirits, huh? Well, sure, I got the right one. Okay, and while Oliver sings, I'm going to perform a classic of the ventriloquist art. I'm going to drink a glass of water while Oliver sings. Okay? Oh, that'd be great. I know. So you go first. Okay. Oh, I come down south for to see my gal sing. Holly doodle all the day. My gal sounds, she's a lusty gal sing. Holly doodle all the day. Pretty well, pretty well. Mr. Gloomy out of my way. Oh, wait a minute. I don't got it. Okay, okay, God. Oh, Mr. Gloomy out your way. You know you got no money. You can still be making funny. Sing it private. Boy, it's a lot harder to look. Well, why are you looking at me that way? You coughed on me! Well, yeah, I had to. It's going down the wrong pipe. But you coughed on me! I'm probably covered in COVID right now! Well, you go wash your hands. I am a hand, you idiot! I have to wash my whole body! Well, I'm sorry. You don't just cough on somebody, especially when you're ill. Oh, don't go coughing on me. You stay out of this. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Can we even talk about it? Oh, this is great. Silent treatment. That's really mature, Oliver. Fine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for your kind attention tonight. This has been Patrick Garner, your coronavirus ventriloquist. Wishing you stay safe, stay well, and stay the hell away from me!
Thank you, Patrick, for that delightful bit of an old art form. Ah, those vents, what a crazy bunch. Now, an interesting thing about doing shows online is we get tons of analytics about people. I mean, we have about 12 people that have been coming to every single show, all 7 of them. And for those, thank you so much for your continuous support and continuous sharing your Monday evenings with us. But there's also one individual that multiple weeks in a row has been what we call the top chatterer. And this week, Stephanie has created a beautiful award for that individual. So, Mr. Angelo Iodice, we have an amazing sash just for you. Now, possibly next week, somebody could beat you and they would get the sash. But tonight, based on the past 3 weeks of chattering, Angelo, you're still a winner. Ah, beautiful. Love the awards. It'll be available at your post office in about 5 weeks. We're shipping it out tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and pop up that donation page again. Because friends, tonight is like a Jerry Lewis telethon. Except we don't have Jerry Lewis and like super famous stars. And we don't have that little room full of operators with the phones ringing. But other than that, it's just like a telethon. Actually, I would like to take this moment and let you know that we're here raising money to feed and clothe artists. If you were able to contribute something for tonight's cast, please send us a little something. Now, friends, our next artist spins, twirls, juggles, and hoops. She is out of this world. She's Mexico's Hooper of the Year in 2016. She's also an International Jugglers Association medalist. She will make your head spin. Welcome to the Bindlestiff screen, Fur Samano. Sir, thank you so much for the amazing tour of your house. I wish every house tour was prop-based. Now, the past 2 weeks, we've had a pie-in-the-face birthday celebration because we had performers and crew who happen to have birthdays. I don't think we have a birthday in our cast or crew tonight. But in lieu of a face-to-pie in person, I would like to make a shout-out to one of the original founding members of my band, Bomb Dog. He is a man who makes sure the entertainment is going when entertainment is going at the Borgata Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Benjamin Ferranda, happy birthday. Now, in a virtual sense, it is like the clowns have occupied the corporate boardroom. We're pushing aside the conference tables here in the Zoom room. We're tweaking the Zoom room into a smoky cabaret in the bowels of New York City. And from here, we welcome an entertainment legend, regularly found in the dives and alleys of the Big Apple. He's a regular on the Slipper Room stage, Wilfredo.
How are you? Thank you so much, Keith. And hello, all the viewers out there, wherever you are tonight. Viewing from the world. And for the visually impaired, hello, listeners. My name is Wilfredo, and I'm all yours for the next 5 minutes. You're getting world exclusive with me here in my bedroom in Brooklyn and wearing my sweatpants. Usually I'm X, of course, but because I'm with the one and only Bindlestiff family Cirkus, I've decided to be G. But just something for all the mothers out there. That's better. And I want to wish each and every one of you a very, very happy quarantine. It's kind of like the holidays in a sense. You get to spend much time with your loved ones, with your nearest and dearest. You're eating all the food, of course. And, of course, this is the perfect time of the year, just like the holidays, to be thinking of those less fortunate than yourselves, like contortionists and jugglers and romantic singers like myself. I'm going to do something now for your listening pleasure and, of course, your viewing pleasure. A song from my beautiful, potentially award-winning album, which is called Wilfredo Unchained, live in California. And it's my signature tune, and I can't wait to sing it for you. I'm going to toast you all, wherever you are in the world. Raise your glasses high in the air with me. Salut. Cheers. Santé. L'chaim. Gambe. Come on, drink it. Here we go. Hello, Angelo. A little song from my album. This is my signature tune. It's called The Child Is Not Mine. Here we go. Enjoy it. Oh, some people say success has changed my life. They say I'm not the man I once was. But it's the ladies in my life who rearrange me. They dig beneath the surface just because. Want to know why? They want my money, or they want my soul, or they end up wanting my DNA. I say no, the child is not mine. No, oh, 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 no, the child can't be mine. Sugar dum, da dum, dum, sugar dum. Some people say Prince Harry looks like me. They say it's in the way that he smiles. When I spent the night at a Buckingham Palace one time, and the MI5, they kept me on file. Oh, well, Princess Diana, she kept knocking, but Wilfredo kept on locking his door. You're not coming in, and I say no, the child is not mine. No, no, the child is not mine. Next verse. Some people say that Brooklyn Beckham looks like me. They say it's just a look in his eye. When the Spice Girls came my way in 1998, Victoria came to me. She was a little bit shy. I took her to my hotel room where Wilfredo scored a goal, but I stayed outside the box at the time. Sing it with me. And I said, no, the child is not mine. No, oh, 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 no, the child is not mine. Some people say Barack Obama's daughters look like me. They say their mannerisms just like mine. When I gave a show in Chicago many, many years ago, Michelle came back to me and she looked fine. She made Wilfredo feel like I could get elected. But I was saying, sweetie, sweetie, no, no, we can't. She said, yes, we can, but I said, no, the children aren't mine. No, oh, 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 no, those daughters aren't mine. Final verse coming up. Many, many years ago, Wilfredo gave a little show in a town named Bethlehem upon Tyne. A virgin came backstage, she looked familiar to me, as she stood holding the tiny hand of a messianic little child. But the child was just like I was at that tiny, tiny age, and he wore his little trousers so high, that I said, yes, the child must be mine. What does that tell you? Yes, the child must be mine. Yes, the child must be mine. Mine. Oh, sugar dum 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 dum. No. I love you, Bindlestiffs. Stay safe. That's it. Cut.
Thank you, Wilfredo. Love having you in the show. Miss seeing you on the streets. Now, friends, we've come to that moment in the show that I think of as a continued exquisite failure. Yes, for the regulars, it's time for me to once again attempt the kendama blockhead. Maybe I just don't want to get it, so I can just continue to gross you out with it. Actually, you shouldn't have to get that grossed out because the human blockhead is something that is becoming everyday life. I mean, just yesterday, Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, did the human blockhead live on television. For those of you not familiar, at least with the word, the human blockhead is taking something like a nail, a screwdriver, or even just a giant swab and shoving it all the way into the head. Now, the kendama blockhead brings in another element. It's a combo trick, if you will. The kendama is a skill toy in which you try to get the ball into the cup. Something like that. Oh, it's not going to be a good one, it looks like already. Whoops, okay, hang on. Maybe I should have warmed up. Whoop. Oh, I got to get it once in normal life before we try the gross out version. So friends, the kendama blockhead, for those of you that haven't put the two together, is adding a sentient spike that goes all the way back in the head. Now I'm going to try this 3 times. Because in Cirkus, if you can't get it in 3 times, it's time just to move on. And also, because if I miss it, the ball goes all the way up here, drops back down, and creates a little teeter-totter effect. When you have a 6-inch steel spike into the head, it creates that little teeter-totter going up against the brain area, which is not that comfortable. So here we go, 3 attempts, once again, with the kendama blockhead. Attempt number 1. It touched the cup, bringing us now to attempt number 2. Oh, I can hear the applause out there now. Thank you, friends. The screams, the cheering. But you know what that means? I have to come up with something else that I don't do well to put in this spot every week. Because this, my friends, is how I get better. In 14 months, once we're back on the live stage, I'm going to be amazing at all this stuff. Now, we enter the part of the show called Community Bulletin Board. This is a chance for the performers to tell you about things that they are doing online. Not only are they in this show, but many of them are teaching and doing other shows. I'd also like to mention that probably immediately following this show, if you go to Art with Rich, he will be doing a drawing of the entire show. I actually go there after every show. It's the only way I get to see what we're doing. So check out Our Time with Rich, and you'll see the show right after this show as he draws it out. So in the community bulletin board, for those of you out there in the social media land, go ahead and just tell the world what you're doing. Type it in the comments. If you have a workshop or if you have a show coming up, let everybody know. And now I'm going to turn it over to our performers to tell you what they're doing. Elise.
Hello, everybody. I'm first of all very excited to be in this show, and I do want to let you know that I will be offering conditioning classes every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. These are conditioning for the apocalypse, so they are pun heavy. You should get an ab workout from laughing as well as from the actual workout. There's flexibility classes. Check my Instagram. That's Ariel Alisa on Instagram, AERIALALISA. And yep, that's it. Check it out.
Hi there, Elia here, your stage manager, lurking in the shadows. If you enjoy shows with songs, shenanigans, impromptu lectures about matters historical, scientific, metaphysical, and otherwise, and a couple of goth folk musicians who are separated by about 1.5 miles putting on a show together here on the internet, I have good news. The Charming Disaster Quarantine live stream happens every Friday night at Eastern Daylight Time, right here on Facebook and YouTube. And you can watch it this very Friday at 8 o'clock. You can read more about it at charmingdisaster.com/live streams. And you can tune in and see what all the fuss is about. Thanks so much. I'll see you Friday. I'm going to turn it over to Erin now.
Hi, I'm Erin Stevens, and I would like to announce an event happening called Club Fest, and it's a festival focused solely around juggling clubs. And there will be workshops and presentations and shows. And this is happening the 23rd and 24th of May. It's completely free online. You can search for it on Facebook. Again, it's called Club Fest. And some of the best club jugglers in the world will be performing, presenting, doing panels, and teaching workshops. So tune in.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Patrick Garner. And as you could probably tell, I'm not really a ventriloquist. What actually I do is I go around to grade schools around the country and perform one-man historical shows. And they're highly entertaining, incredibly educational, insanely interactive live assembly programs. But they close the schools, and we don't know if they're going to open them in the fall. So my next project is I'm going to write some highly entertaining, incredibly educational, insanely interactive virtual school programs. So if you can, check out my website. You can follow my progress over the summer. So in the fall, hopefully we'll still be in the schools, even if it's only virtually, teaching the kids some history and having a great time. Thanks so much.
And for those of you just joining us, here's a few ways that you can support tonight's artist. The dollars that you put in will be going into the performers' pockets so they can get groceries and survive another week.
Hello out there. This is the head of quality control, and I am happy to be with you this evening. Hopefully you're enjoying this highly production value Bindlestiff Family Circus open stage variety show. We want to give an enormous shout out to all of our tech wizards back there, floating in the ether, providing you with magic and content. That's John Huntington, Elia Bisker, and our amazing own Keith Nelson. And of course, our wonderful head of social media, Martha Sirica, and Laura Siegel. Woo! As I am the head of audience surveying and quality control, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and take some time to fill out our audience questionnaire. In the last few weeks, we've asked you all kinds of important questions, including, most importantly, how you doing? This is weird. In response, you've actually told us about 77% of you have said that you are interested in knowing more facts about Cirkus. You want some education. And so we brought you Ask Hovey. That's coming right up. 54% of respondents asked for interviews with performers. So I'm going to ask you to go ahead and look in the chat right here and click on the link for circustalk.com. That's the international chat room of the circus community that expands across the globe. 45% of you asked for opportunities to train with the pros. And all you have to do is scroll back through the chat in this very show and find out who's teaching. It's an incredible opportunity to network and connect directly with artists. So please, if you can, take the time just to fill out our audience survey, because we want to know how you're doing.
Welcome back, friends. Thank you, Stephanie, and everybody else. Now, our next artist has performed internationally in Canada, Mexico, Japan, and the Czech Republic. He is a really solid performer, and he has been working, I think it's been 4 or 5 seasons, at the Coney Island Circus Sideshow. He's also a real live comic book character and an international yo-yo world champion. On top of all of that, he is a recipient of Bindlestiff's 1st of May Award. Welcome to the screen, Justin Weber.
Ask Cody. Okay. Polar bears, ask Cubby. Lions, ask Cubby. Elephants, ask Cubby. Circuses, ask Cubby. Juggling, ask Cubby. Aerialists, ask Cubby. Clowns, ask Cubby. Ask Cubby. Ask Cubby. Tightrope walking, aerial gymnast, circus tent, ask Cubby. Menagerie, barn, bathing, big time, ask Cubby. Ask Cubby. Ask Hubby. Hi, everybody. This is Ask Hubby number 3. Tonight's question is from Michael Bongar. Can you tell me about circus train wrecks? Let's talk about the biggest one, the Hagenbeck-Wallace train wreck of 1918. Took place in Indiana. But first, who was Hagenbeck and who was Wallace? Hagenbeck was from Hamburg, Germany. His father was a fishmonger and also dealt with exotic animals. And when Karl was 14, his father Klaus gave him a polar bear and several seals. That was just the beginning of the story. Karl Hagenbeck's name became synonymous with exotic animals, their training, their dealership, and so forth. He had the Wild Animal Act at the Chicago World's Fair in 1893. He had the Wild Animal Show at the St. Louis World's Fair in 1904. He even had a wild animal show in Coney Island at Luna Park in competition with Frank Bostock, who had an animal training exhibit in Dreamland. So he also had a circus, and this circus was in the United States. And bring in Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace was from Peru, Indiana, and he had a livery stable. And around 1884, he branched out into the circus business. So there were 2 circuses. There was the Ben Wallace Circus and the Karl Hagenbeck Circus. Karl wanted to go back to Germany, so he sold his circus to Ben Wallace. And Ben Wallace created the Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus. Hagenbeck was not happy about this. He didn't realize that he'd sold his name, his likeness, and the title to the show, but he protested, he sued him, but he lost in court. So the Hagenbeck-Wallace Circus continued. In 1918, the train was making a trip. It was actually the second section. The first section of the train had made it from Michigan City to Hammond, Indiana. And the second section at dawn was stopped to fix a hot box, which is an issue with the wheels. They get too hot, they can cause a fire and a big problem. And they stopped the train. They couldn't get it all onto the siding. And a troop train, which had just delivered troops to Michigan. World War I was going on at this time, besides an influenza epidemic, by the way. And the troop train was returning to Chicago, and the engineer had not had much sleep, and he fell asleep. He didn't see the flares that were put up to warn him, and he smashed into the circus train. The troop train had steel cars and was very heavy, and the circus train had wooden cars, and the wooden cars were lit by kerosene lanterns, and it was a huge, huge disaster. And 86 people perished in the fire and wreckage. I don't want to spend much time on this, but this is sort of what it looked like. There was no water except some in the tender of the tender that was with the engine. Very, very many of the bodies could not be identified. 30 of them were claimed, but the other 65 were buried in a common grave. they had a funeral. The Showmans of America, the Showman's League of America, arranged this, and 56 were buried in a common grave that was 35 feet by 24 feet by 5 feet. But that did not stop the show. They missed maybe 2 performances. Within 3 days, they were back to their one-night stands across the country. And this circus lasted until the mid-30s. By that time, it was owned by John Ringling, the last of the Ringling brothers, the youngest and last of them. And it actually made more money in 1935 than Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. I think Mr. John found this a little unacceptable. And the Hagenbeck Circus did not go out in 1936. He died that year, and they took it out of one year in 37, but not much happened as a result of that. But they had really great acts over the years. The Juggling Elgins, the Flying Cadonas, Clyde Beatty was with Hagenbeck Wallace Circus. And the winter quarters that were used in Peru, Indiana, were made an historic landmark in 1987. So that is the story of a train wreck. And keep sending me questions or I'm going to be a train wreck, okay? Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Hovey. And folks, thank you, Michael Bongar, for sending that question. And if anybody else has a question for Hovey, bindlestiff.org/ask Hovey. Now, folks, in a few weeks, I have my first online school show. It's going to be 30 to 40 minutes of just me in a little window. So what we're going to try to do now is start adapting an act that I built on the real live Dixon Place stage. Tonight, friends, we're going to attempt to get 6 bowls spinning in the next 41 minutes. So with that in mind, starting it off with bowl number 1. And just in case Magic Amy is watching, it's spoon time. Whoa, they're falling already. Introducing now, bowl number 3. Oh, it bounced out. Oh. Sideward. It's so much easier when you have the big proscenium stage to spread out on. 2 out of 5. That's like an A minus in today's school system. At least he's trying. Introducing now, bowl number 4. Introducing now, bowl number 5. Introducing now, bowl number 6. Ah! Now I just have to fit 2 more bowls into this room in the next 2 weeks. Oh, time for another artist. Take your eyes to the sky and prepare to be amazed as our next artist performs breathtaking feats of athleticism, spectacle, and bravery. Debuting her latest and most dangerous act. Never before seen aerial stunts are sure to wow you and bring a smile to your face. Welcome to the screen, Elisa May.
Good evening, friends. Some of you may know me as Laura, but what most of you probably do not know is that I suffer from hideous stage fright. So in order to relax, what I'm doing right now is picturing all of you naked. But you know who's not naked mostly? My friends here. And we are here to remind you that you can still get your Bindlestiff t-shirts, stickers, patches, buttons, and other merch by visiting bindlestiff.square.site. I'll put that link in the comments.
Thank you, Laura. And what a delightful tissue act before that. Now, our next and final artist for the evening are Hollywood's favorite jugglers. It's the Calvin family, Jack, Jerry, Max, and Oz, coming to you live online from the JJ Gym in Los Angeles.
very much. We are the Calvin family live from Los Angeles. My name is Jack. Over there is my wife, Jerry, and these are our kids, Max and Oz.
Thank you. And we say the key to a happy marriage is throwing things at each other.
That's right. We have one more thing we're going to do for you, so stick around. Don't go anywhere.
When I was a kid, my parents took me to the circus. Of course, I was inspired by the jugglers, but I really wanted to be a wild animal tamer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the world's only trained Slinky Circus. Good boy. This is my oldest Slinky. His name is Abraham Slinkin. Before a Slinky can perform on stage, he has to go through several months of spring training. Please welcome to the stage my youngest Slinky in training, Dinky. Hit it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Go. Okay. Fix it.
Good boy. He tripped at the end a little bit. Dinky was born in captivity just 6 weeks ago. Like all my Slinkies, I am personally raising him by hand. Let's try some tricks. All right. Dinky, sit, stay, roll over. Oh, he's good. All right, here's one we've been working on. Dinky, jump, jump. Sometimes he needs a little encouragement. So the encouragement, jump. Good boy. All right, and now I will attempt to maintain control over 4 ferocious Slinkies at the same time as they present the parade of plastic. That anywhere else. What? I know what you're thinking. It can't get any better. But think again. For the finale, I have trained a Slinky to jump through a blazing hoop of fire. He will then leap from the platform, diving into this tiny bucket containing less than an inch of water. Placement of the bucket is crucial. Crucial. Only one Slinky is brave enough to perform this feat. She's welcome to the stage, Daredevil Dudley. Watch now as death-defying Daredevil Dudley dauntlessly dances down the dangerous diagonal decline to a dreadful date with destiny. But wait, there's more. Dozens have dropped to their death doing this diabolical deed, but this diligent dynamo delights in danger and does this dazzling display daily, diving downhill with a demented disregard for damage and a double dose of dogged determination. Are you ready, Dudley? You betcha! All right. You're the fire. Oh no! Oh, Dudley. Oh no, Dudley, are you okay? It's like someone dipped him in lighter fluid or something. Come on, boy. Get up. Get up.
Thank you, Calvin. Well, friends, that's our show. Now, before I bring everyone out, I want to thank you for joining us in the show tonight. I want to thank you for supporting live online entertainment, and thank you for your contributions to the artist. Now, tonight's show would not be possible without the folks making us look good and sound good and stay connected. Welcoming everybody back to the screen, up in the booth, we have Elia Bisker and John Huntington. In the social media realm, we have Martha, Laura, and Stephanie. And now, friends, welcome back to the entire cast from tonight's production. We have Aaron Stevens, Fern Simano, Torkova, Elisa May, Justin Weber, Patrick Garner, the Calvin family, Hubby Burgess, Wilfredo. I have been your host, Keith Nelson, and this has been Bindlestiff's Open Stage Variety Show, the Quarantine Edition. Stay safe, stay home, and love each other. Thank you for supporting live entertainment, and join us again next week.